Now, I wanted to quickly talk about this construction activity and where to start. There's a couple ways you could do it. One way is there was a formula that was shared for the surface area of a square pyramid, and you can, it's not easy, but you can fill in the information that's given that the height is 4 centimeters and the surface area is 96 square centimeters into that formula and solve it from there for the base, for the edge length of the base. Because if you're constructing this square pyramid, if you know the edge length of the base, how long each side of the base is, and if you know how long the lateral length of that triangle is, the height of that triangle, then you can construct this shape here and fold it into a pyramid. If you were going to use the formula, there's a formula there. It's not easy to figure it out. You have to kind of work through it, and it gets complicated. But it's definitely doable, and you could do that. Guessing and checking also works. It just takes a little bit longer because you have to guess and guess again. So 8 is not the correct answer for how long this is. I'm going to show why 8 is not the correct answer, why it doesn't work. So if you chose 8 as your first guess, remember that the square on the bottom would be 8 times 8. That's the area of the square on the bottom. And there are 4 triangles around the outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 triangles. 8 times 8, that's not so bad with the edge length of 8. If you wanted to find the area of the triangle, you would need to know the base of the triangle and the height of the triangle. The height of the triangle being this lateral length here. And what you need to do to figure out that lateral height is it is not 4. It's not the same as the height of the pyramid. It's going to be a little bit longer than 4. You have to imagine a right triangle here down the middle of the pyramid. So I've redrawn that triangle here, and the way it's always going to work out is the height of the pyramid is this leg of the right triangle here. You can kind of see that I just redrew it over here. And the other leg of the right triangle, this bottom leg of the right triangle, will always end up being halfway across the edge of this pyramid because it's going from the middle to the edge because that height goes right down the middle. So if the edge length is 8, this part right here, this leg of the right triangle, will be 4. Once we know the 2 legs of the triangle, of the right triangle, we can find the hypotenuse, which is what I really need to know, is the height of that triangle on the outside edge there, that lateral length. So Mr. Pythagoras, 4 squared plus 4 squared equals, I called it L for the lateral length, L squared, works out to be the square root of 32. Now I'll tell you, for this project, I've chosen nice numbers. Square root of 32 is a crazy decimal. It's an irrational number, 5.65, something. And I've chosen numbers that work out to be nice whole numbers. So there's no, that doesn't come up because it's hard to measure 5.66 centimeters. So this is incorrect, but I'm going to keep going here. So once I know that lateral length, once I know how long this is, 5.66 centimeters, then I can fill that in and say there are 4 triangles, base times height of the triangle. The base of the triangle is 8. The height of the triangle is 5.66. You can kind of see that down on my net down here, that this length of the triangle, the height of the triangle is 5.66. So base times height divided by 2 is the area of that triangle. And there are 4 triangles. If you type that into a calculator or do it individually by hand, 64 plus 90.56, this has too big of a surface area. It needs to have a surface area of 96. It's too much. So 8 is too big. And my hint to you is that when you are creating this right triangle to figure out the lateral length of the triangle here, to figure out that height of the triangle there, this will work out to be a nice whole number. It will not be an irrational number. I've chosen dimensions that work well for this, so you can measure them and cut out your net when you're all done. Hopefully that helps in alleviating a little bit of the confusion. Still a challenge. You still have to either guess and check to figure out what's going to work, or you need to use this formula and solve it for B, solve it for the edge of that base. So there you go. That's what you need to do. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have other questions.